This is our last show.
I know. The last show of 2022. Do you know what I can't believe? That in March we will have been running for 3 years.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Really?
3 years. That's incredible, isn't it?
That's incredible.
Where's
3
it
years
gone,
older.
girls? Where's it gone? Oh,
Don't know. Oh,
honestly,
gosh.
time flies.
But we
doesn't
have
it?
got the most wonderful show today, haven't we, girls?
Oh, we
yes.
really have, Sherry. Tell us, Sherry, who is it?
Well, it's Chris Amoo. You to me are everything. Oh, my, just fantastic. I'm just so excited. I know he's been on before, but I just think he's amazing. His band is amazing. He's just come off tour. Well, actually, his tour is extending, but he's going to tell you all about it now.
And he's our Christmas present to you, Sherry.
Thank you.
Yes, Sherry.
Hello, Chris.
Hi.
How are you all?
Hi. Good to see you
again.
I wasn't here last time.
Well, it's nice to see you this time.
Yeah, and I can take you back for a long, long time when you knew me and my mother.
Oh, go on.
Mary Arnold.
No, you've got me there.
No, I haven't. You need to have a think.
Okay.
She was a top agent.
Okay.
In probably in the sort of early 70s, late 60s, early 70s, looked after loads and loads of bands and stuff like that. But
do you know what? If when you say late 60s, early 70s, I think that could have been Eddie's band, The Chance. You know, in fact, I'm quite sure because it does.
When did you start in The Real Thing?
Well, we actually started, shall we say, working as a group round about 72.
Yeah, it would have been around then.
But Eddie was in a group called The Chance.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie was my brother. Before then, doing all the clubs and things.
Yeah, but it was definitely you with The Real Thing. Definitely.
Well, you got me there. You've got me.
You wake up in the night and go, oh, I remember.
But your tour, darling, has been an absolute sellout, as always, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been really good. I mean, we were really worried because obviously of what's gone on, you know.
Yeah.
And because a lot of the gigs were cancelled during lockdown and things. And then even sort of like just after lockdown, when everything opened up again, people were still reluctant to sort of come out. So a lot of the gigs that were getting put in, tickets weren't selling and things. Mm-hmm. So agents and things and promoters got real frightened about putting too much on, you know. So a lot of them, the gigs were put forward to this year. And that's why it's been so hectic, because we've been catching up quite a lot on a lot of the gigs that were cancelled before lockdown, you know. So in order to sort of fulfill, you know, all the contracts, they've all been coming up this year. But it's been great, you know. Yeah, it's been fantastic, you know.
I mean, you to me, our everything is probably one of the. It's still played like it's number one of the charts. It's weird, isn't it?
Honestly, if someone would have told me that when I first heard it, I mean, you know, you just think to yourself, well, this is a good one. In fact, my first thought when I heard it was, this is very Johnny Bristol, because I was very much into that Johnny Bristol, Barry White type sort of groove at the time. And I thought, yeah, this is good. And then when we actually went in to do it, I actually didn't like, originally, I didn't really like the way we did it, to be honest. Mm-hmm. I thought that the demo was better. And you know what it was? It was because Ken, the producer, had a way of working that we weren't used to. So every drop in, every edit, I felt I could hear it when I was listening to the record. It was like it was taking the groove of it away slightly. And then I always remember I took it to a friend of ours called Les Spain, and he used to work the club in Liverpool where we all used to go. And I remember we had a white label. That's what we used to call them acetapes, white labels, you know, demos. Which used to come out for promotion before the single come out. So I took it in and he put it on and the whole dance floor filled up. And I tell you,
Well, of
it's like,
course.
I thought,
That's it.
well, it sort of hit home to me. I could feel, I can't explain it, I could feel a sort of magic coming from the single. And it wasn't the performance that I'm really talking about, because I thought I could have done it better at the time. It was just a magic that came off that plastic when you listen to it. And then I was living in London at the time, so when it actually came out, I remember I was staying in Amsterdam. I was walking down the main street, and they had all these boutiques, and it was coming out of all the boutiques. It was getting
Yeah.
out of all the boutiques. I think, you know, I'm walking along, and I go, oh, you know, that's me.
And it,
Oh.
and it, Chris, it still has the same magic.
You know, I remember our manager phoned me up on the Tuesday morning when the charts come out, and he said, "You've just come into the charts." And you know, so I didn't even have any money to get the bus into Carnaby. I had to walk all the way to Carnaby Street from Hampstead, and I borrowed the money off our manager, and I went to Bond Street and got that hat that I became quite famous for. You know, that like sort of hat that I used to wear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when I got it. You know, he had to lend me the money to go in and buy it in Bond Street. So it's unbelievable. I never dreamt it would still be here now.
Yeah.
A classic.
Same buzz when you hear it. You know.
Isn't that
It's the same magic, though. It has the same magic.
Yeah.
You know, when I play it all the time, and
Yeah.
one of my little grandchildren, 3, she has her splish splash, as we call it, her bathway, because it just brings such happiness to you for those memories, for the memories of you. For it, I don't know what you're right. I don't know what it is. As soon as I hear the beginning, it just fills me with joy.
Do you know what?
Exactly.
It's a blessing and a curse, you know, because more or less a blessing. But because you know, when you do something like that, when you do something like You to Me, and then you follow it up with Can't Get By Without You, which gives you the same type of feeling, you know. People, when you try to do a nice sad ballad, it's like people are really disappointed because they think, oh, well, your music makes us happy. We're not. I remember we did a TV thing called Hit Me Baby One More Time, and we did You to Me on it, and then we did the Justin Timberlake Cry Me a River. It was a really nice version that we did, you know. We really made up with it. Anyway, Bruno was on in the interval, Bruno Brooks, and they get his opinion. And he says, oh, the real thing, he says, you know, he says, the great, you know, he said, but he said, I think they've picked the wrong song because we're used to them. We're used to happy songs from the real thing. And oh, that's it. We're not going through to the final.
Can't do it again.
You know, yes, I understand where he's coming from.
Yeah.
But I'm a ballad man. I love ballads, you know. I mean, I really do love ballads. And, you know, even when I used to listen to all my Luther Vandross albums, I used to skip past the fast ones and listen to the ballads that he used to do. And I don't know, it's people, they either like ballads or you don't. But I think a really nice sad ballad can have the same effect on you as a happy sort of, you know, you can remember it for the same type of thing, you know. And sometimes you just like to sit down, have a glass of wine and listen to a nice sad ballad.
We all like to cry. Yes.
That's very funny, Chris. I don't know if you saw that program that was on a few years ago where they had I think Lionel Blair, quite a few older people. Did you? I don't know if you guys saw it. And what they did was they put them in a house in the 70s.
Okay.
And everything, the music was from the 70s. Everything was from the 70s, which was the height of their particular careers.
Okay.
And all of them became younger. All of them, their blood pressure went down. They had more energy. They just, and you know, they dressed the same. One of the people who was in there couldn't even put his socks on. By the end, he was dancing around, and they were there for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Do you know what I remember about the music in the 70s? And this is before, it was like, you were just happy. The music, you know, that I listened, like, you know, when it was just, there was no you didn't have to think too deeply about songs. You know, when you heard them, you either liked them or you didn't. You know, and I think that, like, especially when you're listening to if you listen to a lot of I don't know if you listen to them, but a lot of the Motown.
Love Motown. Love it.
I can't help myself.
Oh,
Love you and nobody.
yeah.
The songs, they just made you happy, you know. And I know what I've just said about You to Me and can't get back making people happy, but in the 70s, I just feel that everything was a lot happier. I don't know. I might be looking back through rose-coloured spectacles, but
no, I agree. I think, and my favourite things, you know, I obviously loved your things, but I'm talking about, so 1971, 72, when I was about 16 or 17, the things that the Ride a White Swan, you know, even those, that was happy, wasn't it? Mel Guru, they were all sort of uplifting, weren't they?
Yeah. I just think that people were writing songs without having to think. They were just writing what came into their heads.
Yeah.
That's what I found with a lot of them writers, because I don't think they could sit down and write as many hits and things as they wrote, like Lennon, McCartney, people like that. If they had to sit down and think about it, if they were actually having to sit down and think about it, which I think a lot of the music today is contrived. I like a lot of the music today, don't get me wrong. I mean, I really do. But I think a lot of it is very aimed, both sound and musically as well. And I don't know, I just don't think it's got... I don't think a lot of the songs will become classics, let's put it that way. I think that they're fantastic at the time. And for while you're actually into the record and into the songs, which you're always going to get that generation that are, but whether they're going to appeal to future generations, I'm not too sure. Not the way I could just sing to you that Motown song. Just like that.
It's
not
true.
Thinking about it. Just like that. You can just sing it. A lot of the songs I hear today, I couldn't. Once
our kids loved our music.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You know, I mean, my daughters love all of the 70s and 80s. That you know, they really do. That's their sort of, you know, because they grew up with listening to it, and now because it's so accessible, isn't it?
Yeah.
On iTunes and Spotify, it's kind of like it's brilliant. So that there isn't any music. Whereas when I was growing up, and the music that I liked, which was, you know, like it would, as far as my parents were concerned, it was like that was no. They still like the Sinatras, and they still like
they like,
you know, we weren't together musically at all.
Yeah. But you know, even thinking about that, I mean, even a lot of them songs were very. They're just lovely, lovely songs.
Beautiful songs.
We get back to the Sinatra songs and all them. I mean, you talk, we write musicals. I mean, they were just beautiful, beautiful songs. Lyrically, musically, the way they were sung, proper real singers. I just think it was beautiful. Music was beautiful then. But I mean, look, it is a generational thing. And, you know, I suppose when I was digging bands like Earth, Wind and Fire and people like that, they were like slightly different to the old, like, shall we say, the Four Tops and the Temptations. You know, started to move on and music moved on a bit, you know. So I suppose it's always going to be the same, but I just think that a great song is a song that does become a classic. And you can't explain a classic. When you listen to a record now, no matter how good it is, nobody can predict if it's going to be a classic. The only thing that says it's a classic is if in 20 years' time, 30 years' time, it's still giving people the same feeling as it is now. And you won't know that until 30 years. So
the magic.
Did you know it was going to be a classic? No idea whatsoever. Did you know it was going to be a hit? Not the slightest idea, because I wasn't bothered. All I wanted was to sing a song, appear maybe on Top of the Pops, and everything else came from there, you know.
Oh, God, yeah. And I've just seen your new single, darling.
Has touring changed a lot now?
Yes, touring's changed a lot now. Because...
In what way?
Well, when we were first touring, shall we say, even before we had hits, all you needed was your stage gear, 3 mics and 2 monitors. That's all you needed. You didn't
That's
need
it.
anything else. And you used to go on that stage, and you didn't have all the lights and anything, and you used to make that audience happy. The audience weren't looking for lights, and they weren't looking for smoke. They weren't looking for huge PA systems. They could just about hear you. That was fine. You know, when the Beatles used to go on, nobody could hear them anyway, because everyone was so busy screaming.
Yeah.
You couldn't hear them. That was it. You couldn't hear them. But I always remember the change when we worked with David Essex, and we were going on tour with him. And then all of a sudden we became aware of all these lights that he used. and basically really planning a show like as though it was a stage performance, an acting performance. And we learned a hell of a lot. It did two things to us. Number one, it took our innocence, because all of a sudden we knew in order to get the mood, we had to have them lights. And in order to get ourselves across, we had to have that big system so that when we sang, they could hear it at the back, you know. And now it's impossible. Now, for instance, Eddie, my brother Eddie died 4 years ago, and that left two of us. And we can still, and we still do now, go out as two singers, and we're appealing to people who knew us for 4 and 3. But the reason is because technology now, I can sing Eddie's parts and Ray's parts, and when me and Dave are performing, we can mix them parts in with our voices. So it's given the people out front the real thing experience, because they're still hearing them part harmony. And we're able to do that now. Whereas many years ago, we would have had to have brought in another singer, which would have changed the dynamic of the band. I would not have felt comfortable saying we are the original real thing, which we can still do now, because Dave and I formed the band. And it's just helped in that way. It's a lot easier now to put on a show, because you don't need a great big brass section that's on your record anymore. You don't need that now, because you've got instruments that can play that. You can mix it in, you can put it on tape, mix it in with what you're doing, so that although everything's live, people are still hearing that lovely experience of having the strings, of having the brass. So it makes it easier, but it does take your innocence, because you're looking for a lot more. And I don't think that you are working with your audience in the same way that you used to. Because if things aren't perfect, you feel it.
Yeah. But you're working with Jules Holland, aren't you?
Yeah, we're doing. That was a dream.
Yeah.
When people said to me, have you got anything left that you'd like to do? I swear to you, one of the things that I said was I would love to sing Children of the Ghetto on Jules Holland's show. Because I know he's a jazzer, I know he's into jazz and things, and I know he would like Children of the Ghetto from our album. And it's one song, we've always sung You to Me, Can't Get Back, Can You Feel the Force, our singles. But we've never ever had the opportunity to sing the song that I am most proud of in 50 years, which is the song that Eddie and I wrote, which is Children of the Ghetto. Because it's all about us, it's all about where we're from. And now we've got that opportunity on New Year's Eve.
Oh,
wow.
We're doing.
And he's wonderful. I was privileged enough to actually see him at the opening of a saga ship, and he was on there with his 40-piece orchestra.
Wow.
And I was sitting about 2 yards from him. It was, God, he's so clever.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a great musician.
He's amazing.
Honestly, he's a great musician. In fact, I hope he'd probably want to play the solo and Children of the Ghetto. But honestly, we'll be doing You to Me, Can't Get By, and Children of the Ghetto. So that, but we're also doing the Palladium, girls.
I know. That's exciting. Exciting. We'd
When
like to come to that.
When are you there?
Oh, let me know. Honestly, seriously, let me know if you want to go.
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely. Please.
Okay.
When are you there?
On the 20th of January.
Definitely.
We're there.
I
You'll
can't
be
come.
there.
I'm doing a show myself.
Oh,
Oh
no.
no, I'll be there.
I'll be there.
The girls will be there. Yeah, I'm doing my play at Sunning. You can come and see me
Oh,
next
I'll
time.
tell you all about it. Debbie, I'll
Seriously,
tell you all about it.
please let Lisa know. Let Lisa
Yes.
know. And
I will. I'll
Okay.
tell Lisa, Chris.
Exciting. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
I think I'm so excited. And I've just listened to your new song, your Christmas song, darling. It's
Yeah.
so good. It's fabulous.
we've always wanted to do one, honestly, in all that time. When we were with a record company, and we talked about Christmas songs, all they wanted us to do was either covers or gimmick.
Yeah.
And I don't like doing covers, I'll be honest with you, because the music that I listen to and the covers that I would want to sing, I don't think I could actually do them songs as well as the people who are already doing them. So if you can't do the songs as well as the people who are already doing them, I don't really see the point in doing them from my point of view. And I don't like gimmicky songs. I think everything's got its place, and some people love all that, and there is a place for it. But I like to do a really good, happy song at Christmas, but a song that you can play at any time. It just makes you feel happy, and we don't lose our real thing sort of essence in the song by being gimmicky. And I think that that's what the song does. You know, we're really proud of it anyway.
It's fabulous. And we're going to play it now.
Can't wait to see you in January.
Oh
my
yeah,
God.
we look forward to the 20th. We're there. We're there.
Don't forget,
Fabulous,
listen,
darling.
and we'll chat in January.
We will.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
will, Foster. Wow.
Thank you,
Bye,
darling.
darling.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas. Bye.
Have a
Bye.
look. Bye.
Oh, that was just, I mean, I can't wait. I'm so excited now, Sherry.
Oh,
Oh,
my show then. You got, well, perhaps you should make 2 nights of it. Come to the opening night of my show and then go and see Chris the next night.
Well,
Yeah.
it's the 20th, yes.
20, I think it's one night, is
my
it?
show, I'm doing a play at Sunning, and
Right.
it opens on the 19th.
Right.
That's
So I
gonna be
won't-
How
brilliant.
exciting.
Yeah.
I know. So exciting. And then I'm doing Jazz After Dark on the 26th. I'm just
All in
throwing it in the mix.
January.
Oh,
Definitely. Oh, wow. Good.
fabulous. That's, well, darling, happy Christmas, everybody.
Happy
Because
Christmas to everybody out there. Have
Yes.
a safe new year.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. This is the last show this year. And
Yeah.
we just hope you have a lovely, lovely time, everyone. And we'll see you in January. We're putting our panto out. Yes. So for those of you who haven't seen it, have a look. It's very exciting. Okay,
It is.
darling.
Merry
Love
Happy
you.
Christmas, Merry
Bye.
Christmas, Happy New Year. I don't know what it is, but we will see you the second Tuesday in January. We'll be
Yes.
back. See you
Okay.
then.
Lots of love.
Bye.
Bye.